Hello, I'm Chief Harry Dolan, retired, and I'm going to be your presenter for our upcoming small agency leadership lessons for police executives. And you may ask, what are you going to be covering that's so unique in a small agency that isn't as common in a larger agency? Well, first, I have to bring to your attention that this country is built on small law enforcement agencies throughout our 50 states. And when you think about it, if I was to give a training session on some of the unique issues in a major metropolitan department, there wouldn't be very much interest because there's quite candidly very few of those agencies. But we have thousands of small agencies that do represent some very unique challenges, and this has become a very popular class. This will be our agenda. First thing that I wanted to cover is why are leadership challenges often greater within the small to mid-sized community? Well, it's there in the question, isn't it? We were so much more up close and personal. I'm working with people that I might have been an outside chief, but there's a beat cop that grew up with the city councilor and the local newspapers all over everything. Some very, very unique challenges. The unique political issues experienced in a small to mid-sized community. There are, folks. It's something like, at times, it's what Henry Kissinger said. He said, the political battles in academia are so intense because at times there's so little at stake. And not that everything's not important, but the matters that when I was in a larger agency would never make my desk or my attention in a smaller agency could have been the difference between whether I survived or not and how I handled it. And I know that my small agency representatives that are watching this update know that that is indeed a challenge. Small and mid-sized agency executives combat special unititis. All agencies do. The effect, though, in a small department of 20, 30, 10 officers with 2 or 3 only doing certain things, it affects the whole distribution of resources, and it needs to be confronted. But the political challenges are even more intense in a small agency because of the outreach of some of your own politicians within your department. But you know that we have to stay focused in all agencies, but in particular, in a smaller agency, you only have 20 people, sometimes 30, and there's 7 people answering calls and everyone else is doing special things. The most successful large agencies are the ones that mimic a small agency. They start thinking about how important it is to keep the people on the road. Then we'll move on to confronting Chief Dolan's proximity conundrum when leading. It's just a phrase that I use, that the smaller the agency, the more intense the political and personal issues are, not just with the community, but within the members of your department and the city council. It gets much more intense, and I'd like to share some information about how I confronted that. Successful small to mid-sized agencies, executives lead from the front. I often hear people say this, don't they? Well, you got to lead from the front. And a lot of people talk that way, but in a small agency, there's no debate. You have to be up front. You have to have out-of-office experiences, out-of-car experiences. You've got to be fundamentally focused on community policing. And I want to break down community policing, what really it is. Right? We're going to talk about what Sir Robert Peel in 1829, when he founded the new Metropolitan Police, said policing was. We call that community policing, and we might have this backwards, but a small town run by top-notch executives, they know that it's the heartbeat of what they have to get done. And lastly, we're trying to bring it all together and home in on the most effective strategies. I'm looking forward to you spending some time with us, and it's one of the most enjoyable classes I do because it takes me from throughout my career and I get to apply the lessons learned. Thanks, and hope to see you.